Hidden Object Guru here, joined by...
The Unabridged Gamer, here for a harvest hunt.
Oh, Harvest Hunt. Yeah, so you introduced this game to me. You said it was basically, a Dead by Daylight type thing, but, single player and just one map. And I'm like, okay, I'm here for that. I'm obviously a guy who's played a bunch of Dead by Daylight. Not as much as I'm going to have to soon, because, they're partnering in Supermassive Games, but I've played a bunch. I got a good sense of the game's vibe, and so I'm able to judge it. And yeah, this isn't actually that far off from the experience of being a survivor in Dead by Daylight. You clocked it really well.
It's in a really impressive effort too, because here's the thing: I've tried Dead by Daylight, and don't at me, internet, but yeah, I didn't really click that much, except for a little bit as the killer. I could see a little bit of appeal there, but this actually really got me, and the extra surreal part for Harvest Hunt really getting me is it's also very Outlast-y, but again, it solves so many of the Outlast problems, where, you actually can defend yourself. There is more than just a linear path. There's so many design issues that these kinds of games tend to have that this one just doesn't. It's lovely.
No, the hide and seek worked way better than I was expecting it to. It really does feel like you have a chance to get away, because the thing is, as long as you didn't get the bad card that makes it so the cornfields are poisonous, this monster's not great at seeing through cornfields. If you run into those cornfields, turn off your lamp, it slows you down. Again, unless you got the right perk. The perks are what makes it the most like Dead by Daylight. The way perks completely change how you play the game, that is the most Dead by Daylight feel about it. When you manage to race through those cornfields with your light off, you got a good chance of losing this guy.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
I was surprised at how well it worked.
And there's such a great risk reward, because not only do you go in and there's a pitchfork that you could always find to use to injure the beast, but on top of that, you can just sneak and gather the ambrosia to get through. Mm-hmm. And, extra crucially, you can do risk reward stuff. You can sacrifice your health so that you have extra items in the field, which feels way more balanced than, say, in Dead by Daylight, where it's just well, I've played this game for 100 hours, so I can just spawn with this item and already have an advantage over the other person. Yeah,
it is interesting. I mean, there is only a limit in Dead by Daylight to how much advantage you ever get from having an item.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that you can just win the game, but I know that that's been a balancing concern for it for a while.
Oh, it totally has. Yeah, there are some people who are just magnificent with these powered up flashlights. I'm not saying they make it impossible to be a killer, but yeah, there are some really good flashlights in that game. But here, they have done such a good job of balancing the tools and how much the tools cost. There is a great item, that gives you health regeneration for 2 minutes or 3 minutes, something along those lines, right? And It costs you 10 health up front, but you can only spawn it in the river next to the big tree. So there's this tree surrounded by a puddle. And this place is basically the beast really seems to to just hang out there. But
he likes trees.
He does. He loves trees. He likes to hang out next to this giant tree. And in addition to that, it's, you either A, have to walk through water, which is super slow, and there's no perk to walk through water fast, I'll tell you that. Or B, you have to walk on the boards, which are super noisy. So it's you have to be either slow or noisy. So even in the best possible version, you're always going to be attracting the beast's attention if you try to go to the tree. And that's why it's so great that no, you can only get health items at the tree, and you can only get the most powerful and useful tool, the remote doll, the essentially voodoo doll, that lets you just, wherever the beast is, hit him for 1 point of damage, and you take 90% of your health. But, if you've got a healing item right in front of you, and you've got the potion going to heal you, it's actually not that much of a risk to use that item, which again, it all comes down to balance. But it's always super hard to find in the most dangerous location in the game. Like, they've really used their map incredibly well. I was skeptical when you first told me, it's like, it's just one map. But I'm like, no, there are so many nooks and crannies to this thing that I played all 5 nights. I beat the game, and you never stop finding, cute little ways to avoid this guy.
Oh yeah, no, it's incredibly nuanced, and like, I genuinely mean this. If you are actually hoping to be really good at level design, you should look at this game. Mm-hmm. Like, I hope at some point the people who worked on the level design for this get to give some kind of a talk or something, because my word,
they thought it through.
Yeah, this is really, really good asymmetrical design, which is not easy to do.
Oh God, no. No, it's one of the most challenging things you can do as a developer, is try to have one of these hide and seek levels that never feels like it's, cheating one way or the other, because this is neither too easy nor is it too difficult. And how many games can you say that are bad? Now, I mean, that's not to say there can't be massively unfair drops.
Oh yeah, no, there have been cases where I think it's fair to say I just went, oh, come on.
Yeah, when you start up a level and it's like, oh yeah, there's no ambrosia in the fields today. Or the wonderfully appears more often than I would like it to card. Yeah, if you don't defeat the beast tonight, you lose 80 ambrosia, which is like a third to a quarter of all of the ambrosia you need to beat the whole night, the whole summoning ritual. Like, oh, damn game. That is so brutal, but that's the kind of stuff this game pulls.
Yes, absolutely. And, sorry, my brain was just, not only am I loving just, how it can, capture that roguelike flexibility, but it managed to figure out a way to tell stories.
Yeah.
With that as well. Because, like, the thing that is not immediately clear to the player is you're actually playing someone in the present who's been saddled with this curse, and you're trying to figure out, oh dear, how do I survive this? How did I get in this? Yeah. And as a result, it gets to tell multiple stories, both of the past. It makes the lore building worth it.
Yeah, you are reading the diaries of people who have gone, like, the experience you're playing is you in the present day with the curse, reading the diaries of people who went through this in the past to try and figure out how it started, what has happened, and can you put a stop to it for good.
Yeah, and that's really, really cool. For lack of a better comparison coming to mind, it actually reminds me a little bit of, like, the American version of The Ring, where it has that sort of detective feel to it while you're also feeling the terror, because that time is running out. Yeah. And that's really cool to see. I actually can't think of another game that's really quite done this. And it makes everything so unique. And the way that the culture and character dynamics are set up amongst these people that came before is also really surprising. Like, I did not expect to find out that the first person we're playing as, the first major character is, this very tough lesbian woman, because she was, like, the hardiest member of this town. Because, typically when someone sets something in, like, the ye old days, they're going to be like, and everything was like it was at Plymouth Rock. It's like, no, this is a very different community dealing with very different problems.
Yep. No, it is an extremely different community.
It's all cool.
The technology, the tech level stuff, is a weird way to describe it, but it's like those beaten down houses, the pitchfork that has been crudely repaired. When you have the technology that you use to fight the monster, all of it looks like it's been bound together with twine, like these little details that it's like, oh, these are impoverished people scrambling. Because, at the time, there were well-made pitchforks. There were well-made tools. There were well-made bear traps. But no, it's like these people are scrambling to just bind whatever pieces of twine together they can to keep this thing going as best they can.
Yeah, because you know that they could just kill for a flintlock right now.
Oh
That
my
would be
God,
so useful.
Yeah. Instead, they're throwing hatchets at this thing's back when it's not looking.
I love the hatchet, by the way. I just want to say that
so
is
useful.
just so satisfying to use too. Like
Mhm.
normally when throwing a hatchet in games, it's like either they overdo it or underdo it with this, and this one it's just right, which is really good.
Oh, it absolutely is. It feels great, but more than that, and this is the part I really loved, it gives you such a concrete advantage to be able to stand 20 feet away from this monster. Because like I've said, it can be tough to sneak up on because you have to turn off your lamp to sneak up on it. And if you turn off your lamp for more than 10 seconds, you start to go insane. Because it's, obviously you're in a cornfield at night with a monster. This is not going to go well for you if you also turn off your lights. But what I love about it is you sneak up on him and it gives you, he reacts in pain just long enough, right, that it gives you, if you use the hatchet, a chance to like turn and sprint and rush away. And so it's like you could, if you pick your moment to throw that hatchet right, you really do get a good chance to run away without getting hit. Because, I mean, say what you will about the pitchfork damaging him, I defy you in most circumstances to use the pitchfork without taking a hit from
I know.
You're not getting away.
Yeah, I always am sacrificing at least a portion of my health just to have literally any other weapon.
Oh yeah, 100%. Like the pitchfork, it sucks. There's no better way to describe it.
And to be fair, that's intentional.
Oh yeah,
and I get it, but also
the game is not on your side. Quite obviously, this is balanced in the most realistic word that means. The game doesn't care if you get killed. The game is fine with that. It's part of what I love about it, actually.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's it. And again, because it's not just like, oh well, I need to try this scripted set piece again. There's actual weight to it, because that is always been one of my biggest issues when someone actually tries to tell me that no, Outlast is scary. It's like, really? Because it feels more like a really gory and disturbed pop quiz. This is not a pop quiz.
No.
This is, you put the wrong piece in the engine, it all explodes, and maybe you lose a hand.
Oh, absolutely. Like it is so, harrowing when you were getting chased through the pitch black by this thing. And by the way, we haven't talked about it yet. The sound design on that monster. Oh,
the aesthetics in general are just fantastic. Everything looks and sounds just right.
Oh, exactly like you need it to. But especially the stuff you step on. How there's 4 different kinds of noise making ground, that, again, have different levels of noise when you hit them. They all sound perfect. I think my favorite by far is the pieces of slate that go over the river at one point that have this real clank to them as you step on them. Oh, such a great job they did there. But it's like the noise, but that monster, the strange grinding noises he makes. Ugh. That one stuck with me. It really did. I love also the creature design, because it's just a cloak with a mask coming out of it and insect legs on the underneath it, causing it to skitter around.
Yeah, it's kind of like, if someone looked at M. Night Shyamalan's The Village and was like, okay, but what if this didn't suck?
Yeah, what if there was an actual monster, though? What if this just wasn't about cosplayers?
Yeah,
cosplayers doing White Flight, but harder. That's what that movie's about, and you can't tell me it's not.
Something's amish, that's for sure.
White Flight isn't, racist enough for us. We're going harder on this, and we're going to pretend it's the 1620s. Oh my God, that's such a bad movie. Sorry for spoiling 20-year-old movie, The Village. It's not a good movie. And
We've saved you a lot of time, is what we're saying.
Yeah, there you go. The big twist at the end of it, they were just all cosplayers. Oh my God. Anyway, but that's not the point. The point is, it creates this sense of unease all the time. I mean, and I had a build, because this is a great thing about the game. So as long as you keep succeeding in the various summonings, you get to keep all of your perks. So you get more and more powerful. Then, on the fourth night, I screwed up because I had a couple of bad draws. I made a couple of bad mistakes, the fourth summoning. And I failed that one. So I had to go into the fifth, the hardest night, or the hardest summoning, 5 nights. I had to go that with no perks. Because, man, I was set. I could destroy his minions. I could heal while... best perk in the game, by the way, heal while crouching.
Yeah.
So I had destroy minions, heal while crouching, move fast, move full speed through cornfields, and my town perks were pick where you want to spawn. I don't remember what the other one was, but the best town perk in the game, hideouts. Oh, those hideouts are so... Oh, my God. Like, honestly, if you're playing this game, my pro tip to you is, when you fill up on town things, if you don't have hideouts already, keep discarding whatever your least useful town thing is until you get hideouts, and then treasure hideouts. The monster can't find you, and it fully heals you, up to 150 hit points. Oh, yeah, that was the other health perk I had, the one where you can get increase your maximum health. Like, I was loaded for
that
bear.
is so... and I love that it's such another incentive to be, like, terrified the second you're gonna potentially die. Because, like, I don't want to lose this perk. I finally have more health.
I know, it's such a good perk being able to get to up to 150. It makes life so much easier, but at the same time, you're right, it adds that much more of a layer of a threat. Because, you know, if I screw up this sacrifice season, all of this goes away. Oh, so terrifying. Like, no, this game teaches you its stakes really well. Oh, but what was my favorite? Trying to think. All of the weapons are interesting. The one where you can essentially build a hatchet, the blood bank or whatever it's called, where you effectively build a hatchet by following the monster around, and it sucks up the monster's essence until it becomes a grenade you throw at the monster, but you have to stalk the monster yourself.
Yeah, that one is gnarly to use.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to pretend I was good at it. I was bad at killing the monster and at banishing the monster. Like, the only reason I did it at all is because I lucked into the perk, the town perk, where it randomized each night how many pieces of the monster it takes to banish it.
Oh, gosh. I still haven't unlocked that one yet, but I want it.
That's a good one, because it's like, sometimes it'll be 3, sometimes it'll be 1. And on nights with it, when it's 1, yeah, I'm going to banish me a monster. You know what? Because I'm pretty confident that I can hit him once without dying.
Yeah, that's a lot easier to do, yeah.
Also, the bear traps are great.
Yes, the bear traps are, absolutely.
Yeah, because they're the only item that's where you can actually play defensively during a chase.
I have a weird compliment to give on top of all of this.
Yeah.
And bear with me here.
Yes.
I love that it feels like it learned one of the 2 good lessons someone could from, of all things, FNAF.
Please. I'm very excited to hear this.
So in short, one of the best things that, like, Scott Cawthon figured out with his gameplay design was always that you have to find a way to make the player have to engage with the thing that they desperately do not want to engage with. Like, that is the key to genuine horror, because if they can just run away and never look at it, then it's not going to be scary. And this game does that. Because, like you said, one of the most powerful means of hurting the monster requires that you're stalking it, that you have to follow it and hope it doesn't see you in the same vein, which is even trickier if it's leaving a poison trail that night.
Oh my god, the poison trail.
And I love that the poison trail doesn't just potentially injure you, but it actually obscures your vision, making it genuinely hard, because, like, you know it's there, but you don't know where it is there.
Best power of the monster, though? Like, I really hated the tendrils that come up from the ground. Like, those bothered me. Also, in a thing that I think is a little too cheap, The game makes it so, like, when the monster's grabbing you, it can also, when you're in the middle of wrestling the monster, it can also spawn and hit you with the tendrils. I'm like, that's a little cheap, guys.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah.
So my final summoning ceremony, right? Those 5 nights, and I skin of my teeth, I got out of there. Because remember, I had no powers. I had lost them all on Summoning Circle 4. You know what its power was? And maybe it's the same, and you can tell me if it's the same on Always on Night on Summoning Ceremony 5. The thing where the closer the monster is to you, the worse your vision is.
Oh, that doesn't happen every time.
So I just had the least lucky possible draw for Ceremony 5. Because whenever he got close to me, the screen got darker and darker and darker.
You just had some of the worst luck, my friend.
I really did. Oh my god, it was such a nightmare. Yeah, the screen goes black and white and dark, and you can't. So while you're doing a chase, you can't see anything. I mean, it's hard enough to see during the chases at the best of times. But purposefully, they're like, no, we're shutting off your vision. We're shutting off your vision. I mean, I laugh at the audacity of this thing. To think that, oh yeah, we're really going to punish them this time. I mean, the thing is, it's so satisfying to play. Like, they're infuriating. When you get a really bad draw and the monster gets a really good draw, it's infuriating. I will cop to that. And
but that's kind of just a general thing with rogues, too.
Oh, absolutely. Like, when there is a luck of the draw situation. But unlike most rogues, because you are on a time limit and you only have 5 days or you miss out on this key lore, you don't get stronger every time like you do in a rogue. Like, you don't come back stronger. This is an original roguelike in a lot of ways, because there are heavy punishments for losing that a lot of people who play roguelite games really aren't used to these days.
Oh yeah, because everyone expects things to just be like Deathloop, because for a lot of people that was their first rogue, and that game basically hands everything to you on a silver friggin' platter.
Yeah. That's not what you're going to get here. If you lose in this, you will be punished for losing. Like, you have to learn the map. You have to learn the map. I mean, and by the way, that's the biggest Dead by Daylight comparison. Learn the maps, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, knowing these maps like the back of your hand is the only way you're going to survive in Dead by Daylight. And likewise, you should be able to see any given crossroads in this game and be able to orient yourself without having to check your mask vision. Mask vision is cool, don't get me wrong. One of the best perks in the game is your mask vision lets you see the monster.
Yeah, I feel like that is one that if I was designing the game, I might have given the player as, like, set it that for their first time in the 5th night, maybe they'd get that.
Maybe
just
they
to
get
be
that
like,
automatically.
just give them a little bit of an out, because, like I said, the rolls can really go for or against you, even when you're just getting started, which, again, I appreciate. I respect that they're willing to just go there again with it. But, yeah, oof.
One thing I will say, I love my hideouts. I think they're fantastic. No notes on how great these hideouts are, but the monster's AI has a real bad habit of camping the hideout while you're in it. Like, just kind of hanging out right outside the hideout for like 2 minutes of me just sitting there. Because it's not like you can flee. If you step out, he'll immediately catch you. So you just have to sit there waiting for him to leave. And it's really frustrating.
This is kind of an issue I've noticed in general with several types of games like this. Though, like when I was revisiting Alien Isolation last year, because I remembered loving it when I played it on PS3, but I've learned something that's kind of ironic.
Yeah.
If anyone listening is considering actually finally trying out Alien Isolation, I genuinely advise trying out the 7th gen version, because it's better balanced, because the AI is less aggressive in a very bullshit way. Because, like, playing it on PS4, it's like, wow, this thing never leaves me alone. It got, and I'm not talking like, and they're like, well, you're supposed to be stalked by the xenomorph. I know someone's saying that in the comment section right now. It's like, yes, absolutely, except I have to be able to play the game.
Yeah, like, there are objectives you want me to do, and if I'm spending half an hour just sitting in lockers while this thing walks around beside all the lockers, I'm not doing the objectives, guys.
Exactly.
Like, if this was just the hide and seek game, that's fine. But this isn't Dead by Daylight. It's a story-based game.
Exactly. And that is the other thing that I really feel that, again, like, feels like it's the one right thing if you could take from FNAF, the other one right thing to take from FNAF, which is that the escalating tension always keeps ensuring that you have to engage with stuff, because you can't just use a cheat to get around any of this. You legitimately need to work at it and achieve your goals if you're going to survive in this. And I love that. I really, really love that. Because, again, there are some horror games where you can just be the coward and no one punishes you for it. There's no consequence.
We haven't even mentioned the whole goal of this is you have to get X amount of ambrosia per ceremony season, right? Over the 5 nights, and it goes up each of the 5 ceremonies. You have to get a larger amount. Mm-hmm. But the funny part is, you can't just hide and sneak around. You got to play aggressively even at the worst of times, because every time the monster in his wandering finds some ambrosia, he'll just eat it. Yep. So if you just hang out, he'll eat all the ambrosia and you're done. So even if you don't want to fight him, which I'll understand you not wanting to fight him, you can't play passively. You have to aggressively search out that ambrosia.
Especially if you get that curse perk that takes away a bunch of ambrosia each night that you don't kill him.
Oh, I know. But I mean, every now and then I feel like I am being cheated, like the night where, there's no ambrosia tonight. Well, then why am I here?
Yeah, that one I feel like could easily be cut.
I feel like they might want to cut there's just no ambrosia. You want to say there's 50% ambrosia? Fine. You want to do that really brutal perk, as you said, where every night that you don't kill him, there's fewer ambrosia out there. That's fine too, right? I'm even fine, as much as I hated seeing it, but I'm even fine with the card where it's like, if you don't kill him, you lose ambrosia from your stockpile, right? Mm-hmm. But you can't just have there be no ambrosia in the field, or else, again, why are we here?
Yeah, because like if the only objective was to kill it, then I can understand it. But it's just a really, really
this is
weird
very
thing.
much not a game about killing a beast.
Yeah.
You do get an extra 50 ambrosia for killing him, though, which is nice.
Like, it is good.
But yeah, that's not the main thrust of this game. So I'm just gonna say it. Like, this thing is really special. Mm-hmm. I have played the Outlasts. I have played a bunch of Dead by Daylight. I've played FNAFus, right? I think this has something. They so effectively do the moodiness. They so effectively build this world that I think it's something special that's putting it at top of this hunted by a monster genre. I don't think there's a lot of games that are working on the level that Harvest Hunt is working.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, Villainous Games has really done an incredible job with this one. And just in general, it's like, I know this is a weird thing to say, but it is both a game that I could see someone just enjoying playing on their own, and I could see it being like a fantastic game to watch someone streaming their playthrough of, which is also really hard to achieve as a developer, to have both of those audiences pleased.
Yeah, no, this would satisfy either one. I agree with you 100%. No, I completely believe that. Like, this is something that you could watch people get terrified by, but just as easily be terrified for yourself. It isn't just a performance-y game at all. So yeah, no, I'm a big fan of this one. I'm gonna call this a 9. I just within its genre, I'm happy to call this a 9. It's fantastic. My one question is, and this isn't going to have a big effect. They were kind enough to send us codes. Thanks for that, guys. But because it isn't out yet, I don't know how much they're actually charging for it. Have they announced?
I'm not clear on that either, and that's just, I've seen some of the review scores go up for it at this point, because they've been very generous about trying to get people's feedback early on, which I am very much all for.
Absolutely.
But actually, let me check. Let me see if they announced it anywhere.
Yeah, because I'm hoping, before you say it, if this is coming in at $20, I'd be like, yep, 100% everybody needs to pick up this game.
Yeah, it feels very much like at that price because like there's no voice acting or anything like that.
It is lacking bells and whistles, but more than that, I just want it to be at a price where people are going to be comfortable just saying, yeah, I'll take a chance on something that's very different and doesn't look like anything else I normally play. So my fingers crossed, it's coming in around 20 something. No announcement yet, huh? Hey, you know what? Maybe they're finalizing their decision on that. Who knows?
They could because like I said, they have been molding this based off of player feedback and everything. They've been refining stuff. Like,
well, yeah, there have been a few patches as I've been playing it. So there you go.
Yeah, and even like when I was playing the demo way back during Next Fest when they were first rolling it out, I'm already noticing the refinements they worked in there. Like, there was actually a glitch at one point where you could exploit the item spawning and get things for free, and they've already fixed that.
Oh, actually, speaking of, one time the beast got trapped at the edge of a hideout.
Oh dear.
And I'm like, oh no, I think I'm just going to wander around and comfortably because for some reason he couldn't even spot, like he couldn't get to a ground to burrow into, right? So he was just kind of standing there, and I'm like, oh well, this is going to be a real easy night. And but then I was like, I so desperately want to kill him because he's trapped. But what if trying to kill him frees him out of his trap? And then I lost the 150 ambrosia I picked up from the trees tonight. And so I was too cowardly to stab him in the back, even though he was trapped. That's how much this game got in my head. I was too cowardly to kill a trapped and injured foe.
Yeah, it's just so darn good. So yeah, keep an eye on it. And yeah, I agree. 9 out of 10. It's out
next week. 100% get this game.
Yeah. If you like anything anywhere near this kind of genre of game, you will love this.
Oh, 100%. All right. So, thank you for talking this over with me. And again, thank you for getting me reaching out to the PR people and getting me a copy of this. Cause
yes,
it's just super special. Like it really is. There's, like I said, we had some bad, we always get a couple of bad draws, but like you said, like that's just the nature of roguelikes, and this is a true roguelike. It is not taking it easy on you. It wants you to have the rough experience that you're expecting. All right. So yeah, play some Harvest Hunt, subscribe, like, and we'll see you back here for more.
Good day.